The day after I woke up and told my wife, why did I do that? I don't know. I just don't know what the hell goes on. I remember one thing, I had a very hard moment in that part of my life, but I assure you in that age, I could have put that clown in the first round, but I sold my soul and I'm ashamed of it.
Is it true that you made $170 million from this fight?
I made a lot of money, the most money I've made ever.
60 million households, Jake.
250 million people.
Bro, that is so
It's all downhill from here.
No, for sure.
I peaked.
How do you think the Jake Paul-Anthony Joshua fight plays out?
I don't know. I want to make sure. I believe it once I see him in the ring.
If Paul starts his boxing career earlier, could Jake Paul have been a champion?
Is it possible?
The ending was already locked in the moment Anthony Joshua stepped into the ring, because he didn't just knock Jake Paul out, he detonated an illusion. One punch didn't just drop a body, it forced Mike Tyson into a silent confession. Blood was optional, the script wasn't. And suddenly, boxing looked fake in a way it may never recover from. No spin, no rewind button. And yeah, part of your brain still wants to say, this can't be real. So stay with me, because to understand how we got here, you have to accept one uncomfortable truth. This was never just a fight. It was a slow-motion betrayal, and the snap came the second a real heavyweight touched a celebrity, and gravity finally reclaimed its authority. If you're still watching, hit like, because this is only the beginning.
I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I told y'all, they made Mike Tyson retract his statement on Twitter. They made him rewrite a post on top of deleting a post. Yeah, I told you that fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul was rigged. I told you that I don't care what Mike Tyson is saying now, he have to do that to secure his money. He's still an investment for future exhibitions.
I can't shake the ringside shot of Mike Tyson watching Joshua dismantle Jake Paul, because that wasn't pride and it wasn't shock. That was recognition layered with regret. The kind that crawls up your spine when you realize someone else just did the thing you were paid not to do. Every inch of Tyson's muscle memory knew it instantly. And if you think that moment didn't hit him like a freight train, you're lying to yourself. Here's where it gets uncomfortable fast. Tyson could have ended Jake Paul whenever he wanted. Everyone in that arena knew it. Jake knew it too. That's why this knockout lands harder. It proves the ceiling was always fake and the danger was always real. And once that truth leaks, it can't be resealed, no matter how many statements get rewritten. The moment Joshua dropped Paul, the timeline fractured. Suddenly, every past fight got dragged back into the light. You could feel viewers mentally rewinding, asking the same forbidden question at the same time. Why didn't he do this? Why didn't he pull the trigger? And once those questions start looping, they don't stop. Subscribe, because what comes next rewrites more than one fight.
Sit down on a podcast one time, and he talked about it. He said, I don't want to do an exhibition against Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
He said, I'm only doing real fights. And of course, I can't get up high in weight, but I'll fight him in a real fight at the weight that I'm at. But Jake Paul, I mean, as of right now, for what he's doing, it's good for what he's doing. But once he fights a real fighter, it's going to be bad.
People keep calling this a mismatch, but that word is too clean for what happened. This wasn't a mismatch. This was exposure. Gravity reasserting itself after years of suspension. Joshua didn't rush it, he hunted it. And that's what makes it terrifying, because when a real fighter takes his time, it means he already knows the ending. Jake felt that certainty pressing in on him, round after round. Then the sixth landed like a verdict. Not just the punch, the meaning. Because that right hand didn't only fracture a jaw, it shattered permission. Permission for this experiment to keep pretending it was boxing. Once titanium plates entered the conversation, the jokes died instantly. What chills me is Eddie Hearn's line. Jake got his debut from the system and his last fight from AJ. That wasn't trash talk. That was a closing argument. Promoters don't speak like that unless they believe the door is actually shut. And if you think Jake didn't hear those words echoing under hospital lights, you're missing the psychological damage entirely. Stay with me, because the fallout is worse than the punch.
Eddie, I want to follow with you because when this fight was first announced, you had said something to the effect of this would end Jake Paul's career. After what you saw tonight, do you think that Jake should continue to box, or what do you think the future holds for him?
Yeah, I really take my hat off. So, I mean, we have to see if it is a broken jaw. Those injuries are very difficult to come back from. But as AJ said, like that last shot would have knocked out a lot of heavyweights. And I know he went down heavy, but, you know, he was conscious on the floor. And I thought his game plan, although obviously very negative early on, which it had to be, was smart at times. And there were times where he held his feet and let his hands go. It was a very one-sided fight. It was always going to be a one.
Joshua tearing this apart forces a brutal comparison. One man followed the script, the other ripped it up. And history only remembers one of those choices, no matter how big the check was. Call it conspiracy if you want, but Tyson cracked the door himself when he admitted he doesn't even remember the fight, waking up asking why he did it. That's not the voice of a satisfied man. That's the sound of someone who knows he left something sacred behind. And regret doesn't fade, it amplifies. Let me say this slowly because it matters. Joshua didn't need to say a word after the fight. His fist said everything, and silence backed it up. When silence becomes the loudest voice in the room, the truth is too obvious to spin. And every influencer fighter watching felt their stomach drop, whether they'll ever admit it or not.
Are you in pain?
Yeah, but it's not from like talking.
Talk to me about what your jaw feels like, because you got
It's like a baseball in there.
two plates?
It just feels like
4 titanium plates.
4 titanium plates. How many do you have?
Just one.
There's a question nobody wants to pull on because it threatens the entire business model. If one real heavyweight can erase years of hype in 6 rounds, how fragile was this ecosystem the whole time? Sit with that, because somewhere right now, people are scrambling behind closed doors, contracts being reviewed, narratives being patched, damage being contained. And if that makes you uncomfortable, good, it should, because this wasn't just a loss, it was a stress test, and the system cracked. If you're still here, share this, because this question isn't going away.
Oh no, I don't remember the fight that much. I kind of blanked out a little. Listen, know what I remember? Coming back from the first round, and then the next day I remember Jake is doing some kind of, I don't know, what was he doing at the ring?
Oh yeah, a little bow at the end, he bowed.
And that's the last thing I remember. You know, but the day after the fight, right after, the day after, I woke up, I told my wife, why did I do that? You know, I don't know. I just don't know what the hell goes on.
What did you think of Jake's power, man, when you were in there?
I keep thinking about Tyson, watching the broken jaw headline hit. Because biology doesn't lie, and marketing can't argue with fractures. Physical proof forces reckoning. It makes you confront every moment you chose not to throw a real punch. And yeah, part of me still whispers, this can't be real, unless regret is already chewing at him harder than he lets on. Here's the time bomb nobody should ignore. If Tyson is now admitting money dictated outcomes, how many other fights are about to be retried in the court of public opinion? Because once trust erodes, it spreads fast. Boxing has always survived on belief, and belief is bleeding out. What won't leave me alone is how calm Joshua looked the entire time. Calm fighters are the most dangerous and the most honest. That wasn't glory chasing, that was correction. And corrections don't stop at one target, they ripple outward. So ask yourself, who feels exposed next?
Just hoping after this Floyd fight, maybe we can have a rematch. He did well, but I want to try it again.
Is that something that you would be interested in terms of righting the wrong and knocking them
I
out?
would be interested. Yes, I would. I would be interested.
This doesn't end with a highlight reel or a press quote, because the silence afterward feels staged. And when things go quiet this fast, it usually means deals are being rewritten and stories are being buried. I don't trust it, not for a second. This situation is still unfolding, and something uglier is coming. When it breaks, this knockout will look like a warning shot. In hindsight, everything feels inevitable, like the sport finally got tired of pretending and snapped the rubber band back into place. The line between spectacle and competition had been stretched too far, begging to break. Joshua just happened to be standing there when it did. What doomed this wasn't ambition or money, it was the belief that reality could be negotiated if you talked loud enough. Watching a narrative collapse in real time is unsettling because it exposes how much fandom is built on trust. And once that trust cracks, you start questioning everything retroactively. Joshua didn't just win a fight, he reintroduced consequences. And consequences don't trend, but they linger, long after the cameras shut off, long after the tweets stop. Subscribe now, because this story isn't finished, and the next fracture could be even louder.